Hello!
Ay, we're back.
We're back. Long time no see.
Season 2 na ba to? Season 2
Season 2.
ng
Isang Buhay.
Yan, we're
Yan.
back. So, kamusta buhay mo, Brad? It's been, kamusta mga buhay nyo sa isang buhay journey? So, it's been a year, almost, hindi, half a year.
Half a year.
So, actually, hindi nga no? June? July? So, basically, nasa gitna na tayo
Gitna.
ng year, well,
The middle of the year.
middle of the year
Mm.
na sobra konti. Tapos, so, sobra na ng konti. So, we've been here, here in Isang Buhay, and sabi namin, di ba, na one of the things, the reason why we did this is just, talk about yung pursuit natin of being a man.
Yeah.
And I think, ang tagal natin nawala, no? Because of life. And siguro pag-usapan natin yung life na yun. So, kamusta ka, Brad? How is your first half of 2023?
Yan. Sa akin, for the first half of 2023, sobrang meron ako na-discover na about my manhood.
Okay. Meron akong intrusive thought pero feeling ko lang mo na yun eh.
Off-cam yun.
Off-cam.
So, this year nga,
Okay.
what I'm really proud of is nag-start ako mag-workout.
Uy.
Yeah. Thank you to sa kanya.
Ay, grabe.
Ayan. Kasi siya
And
nag-supply ng
our-
steroids ko. Ay,
Ay, ng trends. Ay, ng ano natin. Pero 2 hour more, of course.
Mentor.
Mga ano natin. Online inspirations. Diba?
David Goggins.
Dave!
Don't
know me, son!
Yun, no? So parang ever
Kumbaga
since
health.
that time,
Yes.
imagine for few years ago nagji-gym ako pero
Okay.
parang 1 month lang eh. Tapos nag-quit na agad ako ng But now I found na it's really important, right? As for being a man, na dapat fit ka, nag-workout ka, right? And unti-unti nag-iiba rin yung perspective ko with working out. Kasi before, ang purpose ko lang to work out is real aesthetics. Nakita ko si Pael may abs. Sabi, ba't wala akong ganun? Kaya ko rin yun eh.
Photoshop lang yun. Never pa ako nagkaroon ng abs.
Ab lang to eh. So, yun yung una kong naging reason. But as time went by, after a few months, na-realize ko na it's really about survival sa akin. Na to protect. Kasi yun yung ano natin as a man, di ba? To protect. Di ba? Paano ko i-protect pamilya ko kung 5 seconds na takbo lang, hihingalin na ako.
It's a good
diba?
point.
How can I save my daughter from a building that's on fire if I can't even carry, 100 pounds? Yung mga ganon.
Yes.
So, na-realize ko na mas nainganyo ako mag-gym because my purpose is now higher with it. Na it's connected to my
hindi lang ikaw.
manlyhood. Oo.
Hindi lang ikaw.
Hindi lang siya yung popogi ako. It comes with it kasi gaganda yung aesthetics mo. Pero yung naging main purpose ko is really survival na. Right? And so, parehas siyang about working out but ang layo ng thought process na.
But there's a benefit of other people na kasama.
So, it's connected na to my manlyhood.
This guys, this is in the context of being a young man. Like pursuit of kumbaga that teenager transitioning to
phase.
Young adult to being an adult. Of course, 'di ba kasi we're not trying to talk about yung mga senior citizen na naman or people na because of life happened they become incapable. Hindi man incapable but
Life happened.
Not to their peak, 'di ba? Na
Yeah.
of course salute to our men who carpenters, the one who's really built society, mga security guards natin, 'di ba? Like because kasi kami dalawa we're in that pursuit of being fit, being healthy, but there are some men of course hats off pa din sa kanila.
Kahit malaki siya nila.
Yes.
Yeah, so some people na mas malaki siyan sa akin, mas lalaki pa sa akin.
We're talking in the context of yung age
young
natin,
man.
20 to 30. Parang if you're in that age, 20 to 30 na if you're a man, or at least 20 to 35, 40, even 40 maybe, right? Dapat you're pursuing in that, path of push-ups, path of running, 'di ba? Certain kilometers. So ano pa yung ano mo?
Sa akin din, growing in terms of my knowledge.
Here my garage.
Knowledge. My garage. So, for the past 6 months ba? Half nga.
Tama. 6 months.
Sorry, sa planet ko kasi 14 months eh. So, for the past 6 months, I've been trying to learn more about different things, right? So, in terms of the psychology of public speaking, mga ganun, mas lalo kong iniintindi yun na parang what makes people listen, what makes people interested, yung mga ganun. In terms of, di ko ina-endorse or anything, pero this 6 months din, first time ko bumili ng crypto.
Oh, okay.
And
You're understanding different financial markets.
Iba na. Oo, kasi dati ang niisip ko lang,
stocks.
if you want to invest, stock market. Yun lang. And I didn't really see any cryptocurrency as valid. Parang gano'n. Pero ngayon,
which is interesting kasi nagsa-start ka in a bear market. Hindi no hype. Di ba? That's good. Makes sense.
So, mura ngayon eh.
Oh.
Pero, hindi ko na lang sabihin kung kanina ko natutunan, no? Pero, I think a friend somewhere.
Malayo, no?
Malayo na. Okay. But, ayun. And so, it's nice for me na I'm getting to know a different world. Diba? Kasi iba siya eh. Para siyang, may ganito pala.
No.
Diba? May ganun siya na, pwede ko palang gawin to, pero ganyan. So, I'm trying to learn that. And also, learning how to socialize again.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell us more about that.
No, I don't want to.
So, thank you guys for watching.
No, kasi, nung pandemic, right? Kasi nung 2019, feeling ko nasa peak ako ng social,
Ang bastos, no?
Pero, podcast ba talaga to? Bawal magsalita. Nasa peak ako ng confidence ko in terms of being sociable. Right? And then, nung nag-pandemic, bigla ako nakulong sa cave eh. Bigla ako naging antisocial, parang, for some reason, nagiging mas mahiyain ako in certain situations.
Merong social anxiety. Ganun.
Oo, nagkaroon ako bigla ng ganun, which is, alam ko na, ba't ako may ganun? Ba't parang, napapa-question agad ako, ba't ako nahihiya? Hindi mo ako nahihiya dati sa ganito eh.
Yeah.
Parang ganun. So, I'm trying to relearn it again, right? Na parang, minsan, tinatry ko lang, kahit di ko naman kailangan kakausapin ko, just to break that ice sa sarili ko, right? I really don't want to talk to that person, pero gusto ko lang, para lang to make a habit of it. Ikaw.
For this year, before coming into 2023, I have this mindset na 2023 will be my bitch. I'm gonna own this.
Demonetized.
Wala. Parang ganun yung mindset ko talaga na parang I'm gonna own this. And sabi ko, parang coming back, anong nangyari dun? You know that right on New Year's resolution.
Okay.
And then New Year's resolution mo was this one. And then it didn't happen. Diba? So ano ba yung meaning ko nun? So I think where I'm coming from 2022 to 2023 kasi I had a great 2022. Right?
Okay.
I think it's one of my best financial years, and then parang yung nag-breakout ka sa parang nag-metamorphosis yung financial state mo. Like for example, you broke out of your caterpillar, ganyan, tapos nakukun ka, tapos nag-breakout ka into a butterfly, you got to fly out the world. And then parang feeling ko I was a butterfly, tapos 2023 feeling ko magiging eagle ako. So yun yung
layo, bro.
Sobrang layo.
20 na yun
So I think that's where you're, kasi yung parang I was a butterfly. For example, start ng 2022, caterpillar ako.
Okay.
Tapos at the end of 2022, naging butterfly ako. Sabi ko, 2023, I'm a be a eagle. Philippine eagle. Okay.
Extinct.
And then ngayon, feeling ko, butterfly pa rin ako. So, it's at those, maybe hindi siya, I wouldn't say wrong expectations, right? But kasi feeling ko, there was also this mindset of mine na parang, aim for the stars. At least you're gonna land on the moon. Right? And feeling ko naman, I did land on the moon. Right? So, for example, let's take a look at...
parang wait lang, parang baliktad eh.
Aim
for the moon. And if you miss, you land among the stars.
Ano ba mas malayo? Stars or moon?
Baka magkaaway yung binasa natin.
Kasi di mas malayo yung stars.
Tama.
Fake yung binasa mo.
Sa ano ata yun?
Mas maganda lang yung sinabi mo, pero mas may sense yung...
Mas poetic, pero mas may sense. Okay.
So I think so. Okay, so that's number one. So I think because of that experience, because of having that expectation, I became more self-aware. Right? Self-aware meaning na ito pala yung tendencies ko. Kaya hindi ko nagawa yung mga ganitong goals ko.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. For example, I said to myself, and I realized this when I was watching this documentary ni Conor McGregor. It's a Netflix. There was a scene, sabi niya na na-frustrate sa sarili niya is because he was telling himself yung mga bagay na dapat niyang gawin pero hindi niya ginagawa. Those small little things, for example, sabi mo kagabi, gigising ka ng 5 a.m.
Okay.
Tapos di ka gumising ng 5 a.m. So that's happening to me. Sabi ko, I'm gonna make this habit and hindi ko siya nagagawa. So I think because of that, nagkakaroon ako ng series of frustrations na may ganun pala akong tendency. So saan nanggagaling yun? So yun, number 1 is self-awareness, right? And then number 2 is how am I now? I think new industry, right? Hindi naman new industry, but new work. So it's a new environment. It's a new set of mentors, new set of experiences. So currently transitioning into that as well. So those are the things na, so at least hindi naman siguro butterfly, siguro naging moth. Pangit pa
Pigeon
din. Pigeon na. So basta yan. I mean, like, I think new set of learning. So grateful for that opportunity. And I think I'm also in the process of, I think I came to my life to a point and sobrang sakto. It's because sabi ko sa sarili ko, ano ba yung what's something missing in my life? And I think in my years of being a Christian, right, being a Catholic, being in a community, being in a serving God, right, serving in a community, serving God, serving the church. I think the number one reason I think I know I need to work on is my relationship with God. Yun. So sobrang sakto nun because I think when I was becoming more deliberate, nagkaroon tayo ng Bible study, right? With sobrang sakto because we're doing this podcast about young men, and then that Bible study is about being
all men group yun.
And young
men.
Majority, right? Majority are young. But the bottom line, it's becoming the kind of man God designed you to be. Right? Discovering that pursuit.
Sobrang sakto.
Yeah, sobrang sakto. And I think because of that journey, my reflection this year is just show up, right? Because of the opportunities. Parang kanina yung kinukwento ko sa market, di ba? You gotta show up sa opportunities. And I think that's what I really need to work on right now. Na if parang, it's like, my 18 to 24 years old, that span of 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 7 years, right, those 7 years of mine is, I think, my reflection there. Yun yung exploration stage ko. And I think right now, now that I know myself, my capabilities, it's time to go on tinatawag ko na robot mode. So I have this set of things that I need to do. Whatever I feel, I gotta do it lang. Show up. So I think for the next 7 months, I think it's more on focusing on laying that foundation of robot mode.
Okay.
That's right, Nico Narvaez.
Pag pumunta ako dito ngayon, hi bro, I missed you.
Makita mo yung boses ko para sa Reddit, yung sa TikTok. So here's what happened 20 years ago.
May hawak kang cellphone, nag-replay ng
Minecraft, no? And so
ayun. So manlyhood.
But before that, we want to thank our sponsor for this video, right? So
thank you to our sponsor.
Thank you for your story and telling my story, for listening. Right. And we want to thank our sponsor. Sino ang sponsor natin today?
Our sponsor is straight out of Geneva. Switzerland. Lemmy.
Wait lang. Tubig ba to?
Hindi.
Ay, hindi siya pwede ng tubig.
Pero pwede mo siyang ilubog sa tubig.
Ay. Teka, so bangko ba to? Kasi Swiss eh.
Hindi siya Credit Suisse eh.
Pero madaming pera?
Marami.
Ay.
Mahal na binibenta nila.
Mahal, no?
Kahit nga mahal, di ka pa rin makabili.
Ay, kahit yung ready ka na bumili, hindi ba rin? Ano to?
So, tawag dito is Rolex. Yeah, no? So, thank you to our sponsor.
Thank you to our sponsor, Rolex, for bringing us today and making this video possible. Thank you for sponsoring our dreams. We hope you sponsor us something in our wrists next time.
Yes, amen. To all the ADs watching.
Yeah, so we're open for
sponsorship. If meron pang gustong magpalagay dito, anong brand nila, Prime Energy Drink or whatever.
Pwede, right?
Yeah. So,
thank you, Apple,
for also sponsoring our camera and our audio equipment.
Yeah, Sure, for
Yeah.
our audio equipment.
Thank you, Uniqlo,
Uniqlo,
for sponsoring our
I
shirts.
mean, yes. For sponsoring the black and white theme. All right, so
Alright.
thank you. So you were speaking, brother.
Okay, so manlyhood,
Manlyhood.
right? It's a journey, diba? O hindi? Hindi.
Talaga ba? Hindi ba siya word?
Hindi pala. So it's a journey of trying to
Teka lang, bakit ba siya import? Bakit ba natin siya pinag-uusapan ulit?
ano, yung ang
Manlyhood, oo.
Mas wala tayong matapik eh. Kasi tayo pares tayong lalaki.
Kasi cloud chasing tayo na may
Hindi,
podcast.
Hindi, kasi in this day and age, yan, sobrang nabublur na
Okay.
yung meaning ng pagiging lalaki. Being a man is really blurry now. Diba? Na some people, they just know they're a man, but
Right.
they're not really living their life as if they're a man.
Kumbaga, we ask the questions na ano ba yung purpose ko sa mundo without even understanding who we are in the first place.
Right.
Like even if in the most purest biological form, di ba?
Yeah. It's like
It's a good point.
wanting to win a race, but you don't know how to operate your car. Diba? Na hindi mo alam na yung kotse mo iba sa kotse ng iba. So you need to know how to operate it.
Okay,
But diba nga sa pinag-usapan natin sa men's group natin, diba yung mga pinapagawa ni God kay Adam, the first male, right? And so kita mo pa lang the very first story of the Bible, God already entrusted things to Adam, right? And meron siyang design, right?
Okay.
Na we are different from each other. Ibang babae, ibang lalaki. Ganun.
Iba yung birds, iba yung trees, iba yung tubig.
Right? And so, sa atin, kaya natin ginagawa to is because nga, now, it's getting blurry.
Walang clarity.
Walang clarity. Ano ba
Sabi
lalaki?
nila, clarity is power.
Yeah.
Diba? So how could you be powerful in the first place if you're not clear?
Yeah.
It's good. So going back to manlyhood, you were saying?
Ayun nga. So it's a journey of parang sculpting yourself. You know, na
sabi ni Seneca, di ba? May
Yeah.
quote dyan si Seneca na parang, what is life without discovering your true potential, di ba? Hindi yun yung exact quote niya,
Right.
pero something like that, di ba?
Right.
You need to sculpt yourself. Diba?
And most of the things sa atin,
And yung sinabi niya na parang man is like a marble. Hindi. Man, hindi siya nagsabi, pero one of the quotes that lies under that, diba? Man is both the sculptor and the marble.
Sculpting yourself out, diba? You start off as just one block of marble.
Yes.
Sculpt the man out of it.
You are responsible to sculpt yourself.
Right.
And acknowledge that you are
yun,
the
mahirap
marble.
yun.
Yeah. Mas madali maging square, maging block, diba?
Wag mo na i-shape, diba? And so that's really what we're doing.
Trying
that's our
to
purpose.
document through
our journey, and also the things we learned during our journey through our different resources.
Yeah.
We want to share to you guys.
So hopefully throughout the years or throughout the days, we could get to maybe like do a vlog, no? That would be fun. Na parang day in the life or pursuit of. But you know, we just talk about this.
Wake up 2 p.m.
order fast food like 11 p.m.
Eat a Cheeto. Yeah.
But I think it's also the struggles, right? I mean, ako kasi I love conversations, eh. But I think in life, especially in the Filipino house, I mean, like, yes, we eat together in a Filipino setting, diba? Like when we go to school, break time, you're with your friends, you eat lunch with your friends, and then when you're in college, same thing. When you're in work, same thing. But do we really talk about the important stuff over the
mundane?
Yes, over lunch, diba? Kasi parang, for example, sa family namin, we rarely talk about money.
Okay.
The only time I remember we talk about money is pag may problema na. And
bayaran na.
Yes, and thank God, hindi na siya internally within the family. Like, it's like a financial problem sa labas ng family.
Yeah.
Right? Those are only the time that we talk about it. I mean, like, kayo ba? Do you even talk to your family na parang, Mommy, Daddy, ano ba yung purpose ko sa mundo?
Kasi when I was born, my dad gave me $100 million bank account already.
Trump value?
No. Yeah. Usually common sa Filipino na pinag-uusapan lang ang pera talaga kapag problema na eh.
Or like yung mga different different conversations? Like yung mga ganong like do you ever have that conversations na ano yung purpose mo? Ba't pa tayo? Ano, ganyan.
Right. Sa akin, nabibring up lang siya pag ako'y nagtanong. Right? Na parang, dati, alala ko, pag bata ako, very curious kid ako
Yeah,
So, tatanong ko, Dani, ano bang ginagawa ng tatay? Ganun. Mami, ano bang ginagawa ng nanay? Parang ganun. Parang wala na.
Okay, so there's a split edit, no? Kasi we had technical difficulties, but we are back. So, ikaw, Brad, how's your mga family conversations niyo, or at least yung nakasanayan lang?
Right.
Yeah.
Sa amin, yung mga deep
questions no?
sa buhay, we don't really talk about them casually, right? Pero if I ask, kasi curious ako When I was a kid, sobrang curious ko, Mami, paano bang mami? Daddy, paano mo nalaman na daddy ka? Imagine, marami akong questions na ganun ang daddy na ginagawa mo, ba't ka umalis sa umaga? Right? Yun yung mga questions ko nun ng bata ko. And if I ask, they will answer. Sakala siya, hindi siya yung very casual na pag-uusapan namin yung buhay, yung gano'n. Or usually, napag-uusapan siya kapag may nangyayari. Kunwari, bumagsak ako sa isang subject. Right?
Yeah.
So, kakausapin ako ng parents ko na kaya ka namin pinag-aaral, mga ganyan-ganyan. So, it goes to a deep conversation.
Yes.
Pero it's for all the Filipinos, siguro almost all Filipino families, it really isn't common.
Yeah, kasi, I mean, like, we asked that, diba? Like, one of the things that we did during, in campus, diba?
Right.
I think, yun yung maganda na being a part of a community nga, we get to talk about these life questions. And, going back, dun sa manlyhood, right? Being in this journey, so, what are you looking forward in the next, the short term until the end of 2023?
Right. So, sa akin kasi nga, I'm in the literal middle
Okay.
Right? Middle of the year. And also middle in terms of like in terms of working out. Diba? Nasa middle ako kasi
Hindi ka na beginner.
Hindi na ako beginner. I lost the weight that I wanted to lose. Pero wala pa ako dun sa gusto kong level, right? Of strength, na kaya ko mag-pull ups, kaya ko mga ganun-ganun. Right? And in terms of sa buhay din in general, right? I'm on the edge of graduating.
Uy,
right?
congrats.
So nasa middle din ako, right? Tatay ko nagmamadali na. Graduate ka na.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tama naman tatanong mo kasi ako.
Ikaw, bro. Sorry, nag-technical difficulties din utak
yung utak mo. Hindi, I think, na-share ko na kanina, di ba?
Yeah.
I think it's more of just showing up, doing the work, right? Putting the hours, blocking some bone in my veins. So, it's just really that. No? So, why is that important in my life right now? Because I think, just building up to what I said, what is robot mode na I'm trying to explain? I think, for example, number one, I know what I want to do.
Right.
Right? In my life. So, that's number one, is serving God. Number two, I want to work. I want to be in the financial markets. Right? And number three, I want to have a family.
Right.
So, the top three things. I mean, like, just taking good care of what God has given me. Right? So, I want to focus on that.
On your garden.
Yes, on the garden, right? So maybe that's something that we can talk about in the future, no? Yung mga natutunan natin sa maybe siguro after 3 Bible studies or basta abangan niyo yan, guys, no?
Yeah.
And then taking good care of that. So, sobrang galing nga kasi before having that Bible study, so we talked about the Genesis basically, right? Man in Genesis. So before having that, parang yun yung sabi ko, Lord, what do you want me to focus on? So, and one of the things that I was focusing on, sabi ko, I just need to take good care of my tribe. Diba? Kaya nga yung sharing ko before before we started, diba? Taking good care of what God has given me. And parang because of that Bible study, naging confirmation siya.
Right.
Na yan nga yung gawin mo. Right? So I think I just want to be the man that I need to take good care of that garden. Na for example, kasi we all have different duties, diba, as a man. For example, in my duty, one of my duties is to become a guy in the financial markets who's responsible. Kasi pwede ako maging scammer diba? Like,
hindi ba?
Enroll now. So, diba? Pwede ako maging scammer, pwede ako maging ganito, but I'm placed in a position that I could help a lot of people. So, how can I do that? Number one, I need to show people that I'm responsible with my finances, right? Number two, I need to be financial capable, right? So, how does that look like? So, I think to build to that, right? I need to have that discipline. I need to have that routine, robot mode. Sabi nga nila, 'di ba? Na if you take a look at it, na people in the United States, successful entrepreneurs, successful businessmen are usually the ones who came from the army. Kasi meron silang discipline, routinary discipline that you need in order to be successful in those fields. Kasi when you look at it, making money is boring, right? Akala lang natin na it's fun because we see that in social media, right? We see the cars, we see the glamorous lifestyle, the Bugattis, the Lamborghinis, the big house, the fabulous vacations. But in reality, that's only 1% of
yun yung highlights lang.
Yun yung highlights
yung
lang. Yun yung vacation mo, basically. Yun yung reward mo. Right? But then the everyday grind, you need to talk to your, for example, in the retail, you need to talk to your suppliers, you need to talk to your customers. So I think I'm in that process right now, embracing the boring process. Kasi if nasa exploration phase ka, masaya eh.
Oo.
Diba? Adventure, okay pala dito.
Ay, may ganito pala.
May ganito pala. Diba? Okay yung explore. Explore dito, adventure doon. But I realize now that if I want to make it sustainable, nandun na ako na I need to go to that shift. Right? It's like, for example, if you want to become a lawyer, you want to become a doctor, you want to become an engineer, may boards yan, diba? Right? You don't want to study every single day. Right? But you need to do it to pass the board exam. Right? Because at the end of the day, we don't want ayoko maoperahan na yung doktor is galing ChatGPT lang, di ba? I want someone who's knowledgeable. I don't want an engineer na ChatGPT lang niya yung mga beams na gagamitin, di ba? YouTube Slater Young lang niya yung sources niya, di ba? I want someone who studied and went through the process. So I think nandun ako ngayon. I'm really grateful na we have that Bible study. I think that Bible study will keep me in check. Na okay, am I still in the right pursuit of being a man?
Godly man.
Godly man. I think that's the right term, godly man.
Right. Yeah, kasi yun nga na parang kasi nga again with our mission here on the podcast, it's not just being a man, but being a man of God.
Yeah.
Right? Kasi to be a man is easy eh. Right? To be just a man.
You can be a man of politics. You can be a man of money, a man of power.
Kasi kung goal mo lang talaga is maging lalaking mayaman, dami-daming ways eh.
Yes, exactly.
Right? But is it moral? Is it God's way?
Yes. How do you become the person God designed you to be? Right? Discovering that capabilities. Na parang yan eh. Like, you wouldn't know the capabilities of a violin. Doon nga sa LSD, di ba? You wouldn't know the capabilities of a violin if you don't talk to the creator of the violin. Right? So, you wouldn't know the capabilities of a Lamborghini if you don't talk to the engineers of that Lamborghini.
Right.
Di mo alam, yung button pala na yan, pampabilis pala yan, di ba? Yung button pala yan, emergency brake pala yan. Di ba? For example, when you look at a pilot seat, daming buttons dyan, di ba? In your eyes, those are all buttons. Right? This will do this, but you don't know. It's the same thing in our life. Na parang, how would you know that yung storya mo pala would make sense? Because baka in your eyes, that's just a heartbreaking story, but in the eyes of God, that's already a different story in your life. Right? So that's why we're in this process, kami ni Nico, and hopefully you also, you're in that process of discovering of how did God design my life to be? Or at least, sino ba ako sa mata ng Diyos? Diba?
Right. Kasi parang, it's different to look at the Mona Lisa and having coffee with Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
Right? Na parang, anong different, ba't ganyan yung smile niya?
Yeah.
Right? You're picking the brain of the artist. Right? And so, it's parang, ang dali mo kasi sabihin na, I just wanna be a man. Parang gano'n. Pero to be a godly man.
I wanna be a father.
To
diba?
ask the creator of man of what a man should be.
Yes.
Is really different, and you have to reflect on it, and it changes as you mature in your faith and in your journey.
We have a friend, right, na mahilig sa kape. Before this conversation, we had coffee, right? And one of the things, ito yung nanalo, no, sa shout out, no, sa ating kaibigan na si Benny Sanchez, na he won this competition, this coffee competition. And sabi niya that one of his winning points wasn't necessarily the coffee.
Okay.
Right? it wasn't necessarily the taste of the coffee. Sabi ng judge na, there were contestants that had better coffee than you.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you won is because of your presentation.
Ooh.
And those times, kasi yung friend namin na to, whenever he serves you coffee, he will tell you the experience of how that coffee was made, saan siya tinanim, ano yung elevation niya, ano yung katabi niyang fruit para magkaroon ng kinds of notes. He would tell you that experience. Right? He would tell you the purpose of that coffee. Why was it created? Para mainom mo siya and tapos ma-realize mo, kaya pala masarap. And it's the same thing na parang we have, no?
Yeah.
Na you ask our friend Ben. Ganun pala, no? On how to be a godly man.
Kasi isip ko parang kapag pagkausap mo si Ben right? Laging may background ng pinanggalingan ng history nun.
Yeah.
Lahat
May context.
May context
yeah.
natin. Tapos parang sabi mo, ganyan, Ben, ganyan. Sabihin niya agad, the history of technology is ganyan.
Yeah.
Bro, I just asked if I could borrow your charger, bro. Pero we learned.
Yeah.
So parang kaya pala.
And the point is, you need to ask questions and you need to be curious enough to know na parang saan ba ako nang galing.
Right.
Same as that coffee, in order to appreciate it, you need to know saan ba yun nang galing.
Before you can create, get to know who created you.
Yes.
Right? Yung bakit ka nga ba lalaki? Anong purpose mo bilang lalaki? The way God designed.
Before appreciating the creation, you gotta get to know the creator. Bars.
Right? Kasi it's always
I feel like preaching some.
Come on, stand up on your feet now. Come on, sure. Right? So getting Jesus was the best example of a man.
Tinapik din natin yan di ba? Nasa rin natin.
Jesus was the best example of a man. And yun yung pursuit natin.
Oo.
Right? To be more like him. Pero in our context.
Yes.
Of our career. How to be
Jesus
in the financial market.
How to be like him. Kasi of course we cannot be him.
Yeah,
right?
cannot.
But that's a pursuit of having a relationship naman na, di ba sabi natin na hindi ko alam kung naniniwala ka dito, pero sabi nga nila na parang if may asawa ka, nagiging kamukha mo yung asawa mo.
Diba?
At least may angle, di ba? Hindi fully, but may angle. Parang yung ngiti mo, same na kayo, di ba? And it's like that, when you're in a relationship, di ba sabi nga natin, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And if you spend time with God, right, you would be like Him. You would have these values, the loving values, the merciful values, right?
And what is spending time with God to you? Kasi it may be blurry to a lot of people. What do you mean spending going to
I think
mass?
Yun yung that's a good question. Yun yung isa mga gustong gawin na intentionally, right? And yung robot mode, right? Sabi ko na parang spending yun yung isa sa mga isa sa mga gusto ko gawin na spending time with God is a boring thing. Right? Na parang it could be kasi that's one, right? Going to mass, that's one, but that's just the bare minimum. Parang you cannot get to know someone, right? For example, in the context of Catholic faith, diba? You cannot get to know God if you just attend the mass every Sunday. Imagine getting to know a person 1 hour for a week for your lifetime.
Yeah.
Right? And that is in the context of a community pa. Right? You're hearing mass with a lot of people Diba? Syempre, pag yung pare, sa mindset ng pare, magbibigay siya ng sermon.
Talking to a congregation.
For everyone, for the community. But in a personal basis, diba? It's like, for example, magtotropa tayo, diba? Okay. Yung tropa, lumalabas sila, magkakasama. Pero iba pa rin yung bonding pag kayong dalawa lang, or pag tatlo kayo. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with our faith.
It's like, diba, kapag if you have a girlfriend or if you have a wife, you don't just go on a date with that person one time and never talk to him, to her or him again.
Parang for example, if you have a girlfriend, you want your girlfriend to spend time with your friends.
Right.
And you want you to spend time with the friends of your girlfriend.
Right.
Para makilala mo rin siya in a different angle.
Right.
But when you're together, having a one-on-one date, you see that person in a different angle as well. The same thing with having a journey with God. Now you see God in a different angle. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm trying to, yung motto ko is starting and ending my day with Jesus. So morning, what I want is, meron akong checklist.
Right.
So it's a spiritual, it's a mental, it's a physical. Right? So I'm trying to integrate one habit for that. So I'm trying to integrate running. So for example, why running? Running kasi physical
Right.
Diba? So at least 30 minutes of running. Second is mental, kasi it's a mental game.
Uh-huh.
And for me, it's already para siyang meditation.
Mhm.
Number 3, prayer time din.
Prayer
Pwede
time.
siyang prayer. Ikaw?
Right. Sa akin, having a conversation, relationship with God is something nga na, kasi ito, before in my faith journey, I only talk to God when I really have to.
Or pag may kailangan ka.
Pag may kailangan ako. You know, like, hindi ko na mag-gets talaga nangyari sa buhay ko. Lord, ano gagawin ko? Right? Pero na-realize ko nga na, again, like what you said, right? Yung to build a relationship with someone, you don't talk to them once a week. Right? You have to talk to them daily. Right? Na even if you don't want to, di ba? Even if you don't want to talk to that person, baka tamad ka, you have to. Right? To build that relationship. And sa akin, for me, with God, yun din yung na-realize ko na I really have to allot a time to talk to God every day. Na I can't just live my life na naniniwala ako na may God, pero I don't talk to that God every day intentionally.
Kailangan every day. No?
Right. Kasi nga naisip ko, to build my body, I need to work out at least every day.
Yeah.
Right? Kahit 20-30 minutes a
Mga
day
bare
lang.
minimum, di ba?
Right?
You drink this amount of water.
Right. Every day.
Steps.
Every day.
Standing up.
Every day. So I need to talk to God
That's a good point.
every day.
Yeah.
Right? So ang na-realize ko sa akin, again, it's different for different people, but for me, hindi nagwo-work yung may specific time. Na kailangan at kunwari 5 PM dapat may prayer time ako. Hindi kasi my schedule doesn't work that way. Right? Yung schedule ko my work is in social media and alam mo naman na daming syempre
demands,
edits, yung mga ganyan. So kahit na post mo na, you need to edit it again, mga ganun. So it doesn't work for me. So what works for me, basta any time of the day, I need to allot at least 10 to 15 minutes with God.
That's a good, ano.
And so, paano ko gagawin yun? It's different from my Bible time. Just sit down and just really
that's a good.
have a conversation with God na parang, kung titignan mo, parang akong baliw sa kwarto.
Oh.
As in, kinakausap ko sa Lord, ito kasi, parang kinukwentuhan ko siya.
Yes.
Lord, ito kasi yung nangyari ngayong araw na parang ganun, nagalit kasi ako kay ganito and I think mali na sabi ko. Yung mga ganun na parang nagko-confession.
Yeah.
Right? And at the same time, you're sharing your dreams with God na I share my frustrations. Lord, wala pa rin ako sa financial goal ko.
Yeah.
Ilang taon na, parang ganyan. And so, it's something that I realized na sobrang kailangan ko pala. Na as a man, I need to talk to God as a man, to share the frustrations and the hardships of being a man.
That's true.
Right? The frustrations and hardship of being a young man. Right? Na parang in my journey of life, I talk to Him every single day. And ngayon napapansin ko na, if I miss a day, na-realize ko na, iba yung feeling.
Parang kang nag-fasting gano'n. Parang di ka kumain ng isang araw.
Right. Parang
that's a good point.
If you don't talk to your girlfriend in one day, mamimiss mo eh.
Oh, that's
diba?
a great point. Yeah.
So ako namimiss ko na and it's nice na nararamdaman ko na siya.
Yeah.
Kasi before
it's like
hindi.
you've reached that spiritual awareness. That's a good.
Yeah. And so if you really want to work on your relationship with God, you can try that.
Yeah. Conversation lang, di ba?
Raw.
Oh,
Emotions.
exactly. Doesn't have to be structured like the mass na.
Right, kung gusto mo mag-rant.
Kasi we grew up eh. For example, you mentioned na you had a time na kakausapin mo lang si Lord. May kailangan ka if you need to or have to.
Yeah.
Right? I think coming from a Catholic faith and growing up na it becomes routinary, right? And ako recently ko lang rin appreciate reading. I mean, I've been with you guys, I've been with the youth ministry for so long, been with Bible people for so long, but ngayon ko lang na-realize yung having that, constant Bible time.
Right.
Like sa kanina nga, nasa rabbit hole ako ng diba? Nasa rabbit hole. Book of Wisdom, right? Just being in that, thank you, ChatGPT, kasi you can really ask, kasi before, personally, I saw the Bible as a set of rules of how to live your Catholic life to go to heaven. Right? Kasi
manual.
Manual. Kasi akala ko ganun kasi ganun sa mass eh. 'Di ba? Parang you read the first 2 books, and then gospel, and then the priest explains how to live your life. At ganun ko siya nakuha eh. But right now, as I'm growing deeper to my faith, I realize, di ba, when you're getting to know, when you're in the dating, a dating stage with the girl, di ba? Paano mo siya nakikilala? Kwento ka naman, kamusta family mo? Ano yung nangyari? May experience ka bang ganito?
Saka nag-high school.
Anong kwento mo? Diba? Ano nangyari bakit mo kinuha yung course na yan? Bakit yan yung interest mo? Ano yung best experience mo dyan sa field na yan, sa aspect na yan? And I realized, it's the same thing when building a relationship with God. How do you know the stories? Through the Bible. How was God in this situation? Parang, pag nasasaktan ka sa buhay mo because of a heartbreak, for sure nangyari na yan years ago. So, thank you, ChatGPT. Ganun lang gagawin ka. Parang, what are the instances in the Bible that can you cite me the Bible scriptures? And then pag sinabi niya doon, bam, punta ako doon, and then down the rabbit hole I go. And I realize who God is, di ba? And then,
lalo na, 43% of the Bible are stories.
That's a good fact. Ano yung remaining 57%?
May poetry, may prose. Dami. Pero majority of the Bible are stories. Right? So if you're going through something, for sure,
may nakaka-relate
I
dyan.
bet all my life, meron sa Bible na.
May nakaka-relate
right? It
dyan.
might not be directly, pero it's the same feeling, the same situation, the same struggle. Right? And so, yun nga, to really cap it all off, as a man,
yes,
we need God. Right?
We need to get to know our Creator.
Right. To be a strong man, you have to be weak in front of God.